Hello there. Good evening. How's the volume tonight? Just checking, because since I've had some volume issues previously. So yeah, happy Friday. Well, at least Friday for here. And it is clear at Starfront. And so yeah, let me see. Hold on a second. Hello, Seiko. Good evening. How's it going? Hello, Fish and Football in Space. Happy Saturday, I guess, for you and others, actually. So happy Friday or Saturday. Hello, Cosmic Ray. Bork, bork, bork. Yeah. Hopefully the conditions tonight will be a little bit better. The moon is still going to be bad, but kind of knew that. Oh, hold on a second. I realized I didn't get my connection going here, so we can actually look at the scope at Starfront. Hello, Otto. Good evening. Thanks for joining. Oh, it actually looks pretty good. So let me switch to the camera. Switch over here. Yeah, streaming on Discord on a crappy night. Yeah, below is Cosmic Ray Imaging M27. Good evening, Turf. How's it going? It actually looks pretty. I think because the moon is just rising at Starfront, so that's why it looks actually not too bad. Audio is low. Might not be you. Let me see. Is that better? I don't know what's been going on with the audio here. It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's on the right microphone. All right. 99% humidity. Ouch. Okay, cool. So let me try. I'm going to try imaging a target. I'm going to start with kind of calibration target, as it were. Let's see where that is. Maybe I'll do something a little different. I'll do M10 as the calibration target. Another globular cluster, but different one. So, yeah, so how's everybody doing right now? All right, so it should be starting to go to M10, and hopefully it won't get confused. Wow, it's amazing how dark this looks up here, since the moon hasn't really fully. It's just starting to rise. Because before it's, oh. Yeah, okay. So, plate solve. Okay. looks like it plate solved. Cool. Yeah, got some clouds there, I see. Moon is set here. Yeah, it's not yeah, it's soggy month. You know, I think I mentioned this last night. At Starfront, they get 27 inches of rain a year on average, and they've got 17 inches of rain so far this month. A lot of it was that heavy rains that kind of middle of Texas got over the 4th of July weekend. But yeah, they got like 7 months of rain in a few days. But we're heading into the drier season, so hopefully it'll be better. Nice. Nice, M101. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I'm actually going to try... The last few nights, the moon's been really near the core of the Milky Way, and so I've been kind of avoiding that area, but now it's a little bit further, 10, 20 degrees, 20, 30 degrees below the Milky Way. So there's actually, I was actually going to try a target kind of in that area with a light pollution filter and just see how it goes. But first, after this kind of initial target, I'm going to go do the periodic check on that nova that just since it seems to be starting to fade, I just want to make sure I keep imaging it, and maybe I'll get a bit of a time lapse from it. Yeah. Okay, so schedule image okay, V462 and okay, 10 minutes and okay. Deck value minus 40 dewey, 8 minutes. Okay. Hold on a second. Stellarium is not being cooperative. And it's 15 hours. 15 hours, 8 minutes. Yeah, let me, so weird. Okay. All right. I thought I entered it correctly, but I guess it didn't like that. Oh man. 3x drizzle. If you did a 2x before, that's going to be more than double, at least double. Yeah, the M10 is turning out pretty well. It's one that I haven't imaged that much. I've mostly imaged like M3 and M13. Maybe M10 isn't as visible from my house. I don't know. It's possible. Because some of those targets end up behind buildings a lot of the night. Okay. Yeah, it's -4 declination, so it could be below buildings. Yeah, I'll let this go a few more minutes, and then I'm going to move on to the nova. Let me check something here real quick. Let's see. Oh. No. Okay. No. 10-foot, no. Huh. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just checking on something. Yeah, so it's going to go for 2 more minutes, and then it'll go on to the nova. Yeah, it's looking... Although you can see it's starting to get brighter because the moon is rising. Unfortunately. But if it ends up being clear tomorrow, it'll just be that much better, which is good. And I'm really hoping for some clear weather during the day so I can use my spectroheliograph again. It's been a few weeks, and it's kind of frustrating. Like today, we had a thunderstorm in the middle of the day, quite a bit. Yeah, maybe Sunday might be clear during the day. It's just... oh man. Yeah, there you go. Completely clouded out. I wonder if it'll clear up. Let's see. So after the nova, I'm planning on... oh, wow. Hey there, Qubits. Good evening. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, dreary weather and other projects. Yeah, I know how that goes. Been a lot of dreary weather here, too. Yeah, it's... that's always frustrating when it... I mean, it's frustrating when it's cloudy day in, day out, but then when you have a glimmer of hope that, oh, it's going to be clear tonight, and then ends up getting clouded out. That's kind of frustrating. Okay, so it's about to switch to the nova, and I'll image that again for 10 minutes, and then yeah, and then I'll move on to something in the Milky Way, and we'll see how that works. I'm going to start with something near the Milky Way core, or in the Milky Way core, but I don't know if the moon will be putting too much glare on the front of the scope. But we'll give it a try. Okay. So that's the nova. As it's so it's Prime Day ends today. So the annual Amazon sales, or periodic Amazon sales. So their summer sale. So I'm getting a switch bot, and I'm going to send it to Starfront so I can power cycle it remotely, my Seestar. But I'm also going to send them a longer USB-C cord. Perhaps I'm debating adding one of the MagSafe kind of ends to it. So even I think I only sent a 6-foot, but I'm probably going to send like a 10 or a 15-foot, and that way, even if it gets wound around, it won't like cause issues. And if I do the MagSafe, maybe that might be good. Oh, nice. Several scopes. One was dedicated solar rig. Yeah, I mean the thing is, I have a dedicated hydrogen alpha scope, like a cheap one that I got like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and then I got and then more recently I got a spectroheliograph which does hydrogen alpha, it does calcium. You have to change it and refocus, but it does it. But I've used it a handful of times, and there've been a few times where it was sunny and I was busy with work and wasn't able to do it. But then there's been quite a few other times where it was either completely clouded out or it was sunny, and I was like thinking about it, and then I saw gray clouds and it clouded over and started raining. So I just haven't been able to use it much. I'm really kind of bummed about that. Single file, and you have 270. Yeah. You'll have to have what, like 700 gig free? Is that right? 700 gig or something? Yeah, Murphy's Law. All right, let me queue up the next thing. So yeah, I'm gonna send some updated things to Starfront to try to make things a little bit more robust there, hopefully, and reduce the odds of the scope getting hung up. Hopefully. Okay. So this is, like I say, this is going to be an experiment. I'm not sure if the next target after the Nova will work. I need to put this on. I'm sorry. You probably keep hearing this. It's probably on. And I need to charge it anyway. All right. It's funny, I was about to order something and I actually had ordered it earlier today. Clearly wasn't paying attention. Did I see a little bit of clouds there? Yeah, I guess some high kind of hazy clouds. Not a whole lot, but some. All right. All right. So, yeah, and I have another. I replaced my mini PC that I use for my solar scope and for my refractor and anything that isn't Seestar related, and of course I literally haven't used it since I got it because it's been cloudy and I haven't been able to. So I decided, or I was thinking I actually hadn't installed the drivers on it yet for like the ASCOM drivers for the focuser and the mount. So I was working on setting that up today, just in the off chance that it ends up being clear this weekend where I can actually do something locally with either the solar scope or the planetary. Or the refractor, which I use in the evening. Let's see. Okay. I'm just copying drivers off my old mini PC. Just making sure I've got camera drivers, focuser driver, telescope driver, mount driver. Was there another one here? Oh, there's another one. I have 3 different camera between the 2 telescopes. I have an SV Bony, a cheap camera, a cheap ZWO camera, and a Player One camera, which is a nice camera. The ZWO was just like the basic guide camera. Okay, cool. I copied that off, and I can shut this mini PC down. Making sure I am shutting down the right computer, not the one that I'm streaming from. Oh man, yeah. It's kind of feels like it's been similar to that here. And what has stung even more is it's been that way here and at Starfront. Granted, it's in Texas, but it's still like over 300 miles away. So, but a lot of times recently it's been cloudy at both. Like the clouds we've been having here aren't the ones that come off the Gulf. They're like ones that come from inland, so it affects everybody in the state. Okay, so it's going to go on to the next target, and this will be, like I say, an experiment. Because the moon is now up a little bit. As you can see by the incredibly bright light on the left side. So if this target ends up looking washed out, I'll move on to something else. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I need to make sure that I have all that set up correctly. Yeah, because I have to reset up everything. I have to install PhD2. I've got SharpCap on it already. I've got the base ASCOM software on there. Yeah, so I just need to install everything else. But I'm hoping the result will be better, because the new one has more horsepower than the old one, because I was having issues with live stacking with the old one where it would just spontaneously shut off. And even before that happened, it would be running at 100% CPU. Like every core would be pegged when it was live stacking. So I think since the new one is much faster, I'm hoping, and it has more cores, I'm hoping I won't. But my hope is that it'll let me do some things that I wasn't able to do before on the live stacking front. Okay, nice. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's speaking of Cyril, beta, so that there's been a beta series, 1.4 beta, the one that has the new astrometric stacking, and it has a curves tool, and it has a lot of improvements and new features. The Python scripting, beta 3 just came out fairly recently. I don't know if it was today, but because beta 2 came out last month, so it had been out for a while now. Beta 3 is out, but yeah, that's cool. Clearing up, yeah, some of the gradients are pretty gnarly sometimes. Yeah, set up the star sense, no joy. I'm not sure if it's going to be Seestar easy, but I mean, based on what I've seen, others would have to talk on how easy the ASI Air is. Was today. Okay, cool. So I wasn't just imagining that it had just come out, because I heard about it today. Star Traveler, I think, posted it, or in the on the Discord server. Before I forget, don't forget to like the video. It does help these live streams, especially because I have not been able to stream in a while, so I want to try to rebuild the it's not rebuilding, it's more just kind of get back into the groove of things. All right. Okay. So I was going to send a new cable to Starfront, and I'm going to send the switch bot. What else do I want to send there? need to figure out what else I might want to send out there to Starfront. Alright, sorry, I'm gonna go check the chat. It's like the Seestar app with a few more things, so that's cool. Is it fully updated to the latest firmware? No. It's fairly recent, but it isn't the most recent one. It doesn't have the one with darks and or being able to shoot flat frames. It isn't running that firmware. Okay, what? Sorry, I'm noticing that it should have gone on to the next target. And what happened? Still running. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to figure out why this hasn't switched to the next target. Yeah. I think it's not cooperating, so I'm going to try restarting it here. It's interesting. Okay. This is odd. Okay, the telescope's responding. And when I go, oh, you know what? When I go live view, it's not going live view. You know what would be this would be a good time for me to start up my, start up something here. Every clear night was not really dark. Yeah. Yeah, the ASI are, yeah. Yeah, there's something weird going on with the, so let me, see if this works. Okay. I haven't actually been running my my experimental version of ALP recently, so let me go do that. Because something odd is afoot. It's been such a long time since I've... Not, it hasn't been that long, but it's just, I've been deep in things. Server. Okay. 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 So let's see if this works. The reason I'm kind of wondering what's going on here is let me see something here. Give me a second here. I'm trying to figure out if I'm running into that sensor issue with the Seestar, because it just suddenly isn't doing anything. All right. Okay. 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 Let's see if this... Received message. Oh. Because basically one of the things when it gets this kind of issue, the question was always, how can I detect that it's having the issue? It said failed to operate. So I'm just going to restart the Seestar, and hopefully that will fix it. This is why it's handy to run more than one scope at a time when I have the chance. It can sometimes be logistically a problem, but at least then if one acts up, I can switch to another. All right. So let's see where this is. Okay. Yeah, so it's interesting. I got this. Okay. It's coming back up. Yeah, I've also had this other weird issue where it seemed like the telescope had locked up, but it's just the Raspberry Pi had lost its connection. All right, so let's go try doing this startup, and hopefully it won't be all kinds of confused. That's another thing I needed to remember. Yeah, that would be nice. A watchdog timer. That would be very nice. What do you call it? Yeah, okay. So is the programming in the Raspberry Pi that's unreliable? Well, what happened just now was the Seestar. The Seestar itself had an issue. And as far as the Raspberry Pi losing its connection, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's the Pi or if it's a Seestar. All right, so plate solving is failing again. So that's the other thing I need to remember to send to Starfront is I'm going to send, I have an extra Skywatcher plate, the one that it's a smaller plate, a circular plate. And the problem I think I had with the plate I sent is it slipped and also was like hitting the corners. So would a mini computer be any better? I mean, the reason I had to restart the Seestar, it wouldn't have helped that. The issue that I've had a couple times where the Raspberry Pi loses its connection to the Seestar, maybe, but I'm not sure. Okay, so unfortunately so let me see where we are here. The scope is rebooted. It is now working. Well, I say it's working, but it's yeah, that would be the main problem. I think my single biggest problem at Starfront is the slippage or whatever's happening on the mount, because I feel like this doesn't happen at home. maybe it's the cord is causing enough kind of, maybe it's causing some slippage on the mount or on the plate, and so it's because it, like, theoretically it should always be parked the same position, but it never seems to. Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason why I got the all sky camera, but yeah, it's unfortunately I don't have it set up as a real-time camera. I should make a note of all these things. I need to send to Starfront, new cable, new longer cable, magnetic quick release, the SwitchBot, the Skywatcher plate, maybe another camera. Yeah, actually, I have a camera I could send, and then I could use that for real-time views. Armchair text. Thanks, I do appreciate it. I mean, it's good too, because like I'm talking through these things, and I'm trying to make sure I don't forget things when it. So the problem was, so the telescope isn't sure where it's pointed, and it is pointed at stars now. I had to manually steer it. But the problem is, usually what has been happening is the right ascension is wrong. Sorry. All right. Okay. And again, it's consistent. The Seestar is consistently confused, because every time I do this exercise and I move the scope a bit, it's at 20 hours, but of right ascension, almost exactly. But the Seestar thinks it's at 12 hours, so it's off by 8. The declination's fine. So again, it points to the whole slippage on the right ascension axis. So it thinks it's at 12, but it's actually at 20. So it's actually and it's 11 degrees declination. So it's actually pointing at close to the Milky Way, but it thinks it's at 12 hours, which is all the way over by past M53. So maybe let's see, I want to have something that's around the same. I'm going to try. I'm gonna. Oh, it's at. It thinks it's at 30. So 30 would be. Oh, we'll do that. It's actually, it thinks it's pointing at an area real close to the Whale Galaxy. So I'm going to say, go to the Whale Galaxy, and it'll realize it's completely pointing at the wrong part of the sky. So what'll be interesting is you'll see it move, and you'll see it move. The right ascension declination will move just a little bit. They'll do a plate solve, and then suddenly it'll say the right ascension is like 20 hours, and then it'll start moving. So that's what I'm predicting. Hopefully that's what happens. So let's try this. Okay. It's going to. So see, it says 12:32. It's just moving a little bit, taking a shot, and then it'll plate solve, and then it should suddenly say 20. Yep, see, it went 20 degrees. And then I realized, oh, I'm in the wrong part of the sky, and so now it's moving back to 12. Yep. Yeah, I mean, it might be something related to the calibration. Although I don't know. Like my calibration, because I don't use the app. Generally, I haven't really compass calibrated it in a long time. Hello there. Good evening. How are you doing? Okay, so it'll actually start imaging the Whale Galaxy here, and I'll let it go for a little bit, and then I'll go back to trying to image the original thing, which was the Omega Nebula. Yeah, northern sky. I'm located in Houston, Texas, in the U.S. So yeah, northern sky right now. I'm imaging the Whale Galaxy, but I'm going to go back to imaging stuff in the Milky Way core. So kind of mid declination. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's... Yeah, I think it's doing some of the... well, it's doing the autofocus in dark library right now because I rebooted it. I'm gonna have a sip of water here. Okay. So yeah, the Whale Galaxy here for a bit, and then I'll move back to the Milky Way. Oh, there it is. It's already popped into view. Yeah. Yeah, I mean so there's times where I can force a plate solve in using ALP, and it still won't like synchronize. It won't sync to the new location. I don't think it will, but at least I know where it actually is pointing. But then sometimes it just won't. It'll say it can't plate solve now for some reason. And so when that has happened, rather than messing with it, what I end up doing is taking a screenshot, doing the plate solve in the bot, and then I figure out where it is. I should come up with a quicker, better way of doing that. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for being here. One thing I need to do is see if, since it's actually working now, I wonder if I should try using the ALP experimental. I didn't want to use it last night because it had been the first time I'd streamed in like a few weeks because of weather issues. But since we got past that, let me see if I can. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. Cool. I think it's just not going to cooperate today. Oh. No? No idea. Oh. I was going to run the experimental version, but I'd been doing some development on it, and I think I broke the remote scope functionality, so that's okay. Unless I try. All right. What's funny is the name of my computer at Starfront is Electra, named after one of the Pleiades. But funny enough, and I run the server on, or kind of the new version of ALP on port 3000. And so I type Electra 3000 and somehow it ends up with a Google search and there's a model named Electra 3000 or something like that. I'm just like, okay, that's incredibly random. Okay. Okay. So maybe that will work. I might end up breaking this real quick here. Okay. So let's see if this works. All right. All right. So, oops. This is working. This is also working. And so let's go. And see if this works. There we go. And I see Cosmic Ray has started streaming again. Wait, what? Oh. There we go. So there is Cosmic Ray is back online. Or I should say he is no longer clouded out. Let me see if I can get this. And that, and I messed it up again. I always do this. And there we go. No, I'd figured it out. I'd figure it out eventually. RMA is way back to the warehouse. Hopefully get a new one. Yeah, hopefully. 10-second subs. I mean, I think in some cases 20 are good, but yeah, I've stuck with 10-second ones mostly, and interestingly, there's some people who, because with ALP you can try whatever, or you can try a lot of non-standard exposure lengths, and there's some people who've actually been experimenting with shorter exposure times. I mean, I have, because if you figure out like the optimal exposure time, especially for like light pollution, a lot of light pollution, it's actually under 10 seconds. I mean, 10 seconds is fine for like middle of the road, like Bortle 5 plus or minus, but theoretically longer exposures are good at darker skies. But the tracking, because it's unguided, I feel like it has too many trade-offs. Oh man, clouds went east. Yeah, it doesn't, it's unguided, so it's just, it's reliant on, I mean, it does course correction, every exposure, but yeah, during the exposure, it's not guiding. So the good thing is I got this working. No, I'm not going to do this. I missed this view. I mean, even though I wasn't really using it, I haven't really used it that much. Being able to see all the information, including the disk usage levels, is really helpful. Yeah, I need to when I do the exposure, because I haven't gotten it where it kicks off imaging, I'll make sure to accommodate that. Yeah, well, I mean, the one good thing, so that's the thing, Starfront, I found even when the moon is full, if it's relatively clear, if the transparency is good, if you're not pointing towards the moon, if you're far away from the moon, and right now it's pointing at the whale, which is like to the east, no, to the west, so like opposite from the moon, it actually does pretty well, even when the moon's up. But yeah, I mean, it's better than what I get from home on a moonless night. Good evening, Massive. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Yeah, so just making sure that it's still working. The time is updating. But yeah, all things considered, not too bad. Stop showing off. Well, the problem is I had been making some changes to make it more robust after we were trying to get it working. But yeah, I need to test it in solar mode, and then maybe I could work through some of the issues with you during the day, because like if it's in scenery mode, it doesn't matter. Need to try the whale. Yeah, there's definitely some especially with your telescope, I'm sure you could get some really good detail in the main galaxy. No, I was talking about like, because it was working on my computer, but I made some changes to help troubleshoot the networking, because it's something that's, I mean, I've had issues with it, and other people have had issues with it, so I wanted to try to improve kind of the diagnostics compared to what Alp was doing. And so I basically I wanted you to try out the latest code. I think I have the latest code out there. And then could see if it helps, or at least helps identify what the issue is. Yeah, the royal we. It's the royal we. We are not amused. Oh man. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, the Seestar does, the S30 has a nice wide field of view for things like the Butterfly Nebula. Yeah, the Crowbar Galaxy is nearby, I think, because I framed it just with the Whale Galaxy centered. It's not, the Crowbar's not in the field of view. I mean, you can try. No guarantees that it'll work, but I did make some changes since the last time you tried. So it's just I hadn't been able to really test it in the wild until tonight. And so yeah, I'm running the latest code here and at Starfront. Although, wait a second, I haven't rebuilt the Docker image yet. I'll have to do that. Hold on a sec. Before I forget, how long did I have this? Do I have this on a schedule? Oh, okay. I actually set it to go for 45 minutes, but I might go ahead and move on to the next target. The one I was originally going to point at. And we'll see if this works. Again, this is going to be purely an experiment. Image. Let me grab that, and 30 minutes. And no, I'll do 45 minutes. Light pollution filter. And I'm going to move on to the next target. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm running it not with the Docker image, but I'm running part of it on the Raspberry Pi at Starfront, but I'm not running it. Let me try let me try running it locally on my Raspberry Pi real quick here. Just so you don't waste time on it, and plus I needed to test it out anyway. Okay. Let's see when the latest build was. Let's see. Oh no, I'm at the wrong repo. Oh, there we go. That was quick. Let's see. Three days ago. Okay. So the last one was 5 days ago. So, no build. Trigger workflow. Another year. Oh, hello. Hi, Spooky Sandwich. Good evening. Let me check. I was kind of. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, okay. No, that's a good idea. I'm reading your Spooky Sandwich. I'm reading your message. I'll reply to it more properly on the YouTube a little later, so I can compose a better response. Yeah, the Omega. It's and so, yeah, I wasn't sure how this was going to turn out. It does have the light pollution filter on, but I wasn't sure if the moon being kind of in the general vicinity. I mean, it's not close, but I was concerned that like light would hit from the moon would hit the front of the lens, but I guess it's not a problem, so that's good. I can image some other things then. Last train to Glasgow Central. Yeah, no problem. Like I say, I'll look at it afterwards. I have it open in a tab, so I shouldn't forget. Yeah. Right. That's weird. Oh, okay, that's... Okay. That ran. Oh, nice. No, that is quite a marathon, really. I'm sure it'll look great though. I mean it would for that much time. That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I need to do a I haven't gotten that much data on the veil. I should try to image it more. I didn't really have much time last year, but yeah, more patient. No, I mean that's I mean, I personally have been trying to do more longer sessions on a single target, but yeah, I've had mixed luck doing that. As far as like the weather won't cooperate, or I'll forget I was working on it. Wow, 18 panel. Still, that's impressive. 21 panel. Wow. That is... Well, I mean, or 18. That's a lot. That's awesome. Oh, hello, Glenn. New S50 gets here on Monday. Nice. Congratulations. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's good. That's great. 21 panel. Yeah, it's good. That is a lot. That is a lot. That's cool. M101. Yeah. So I have the light pollution filter. So yeah, but I still wasn't sure how well it would do with the moon, kind of in the same general direction. But since it's turning out reasonably well, I'm gonna try imaging some other things kind of in the area. I might do the Trifid, kind of partly also as an experiment. I've gotten a lot of time on the Trifid Nebula, but I want to see how well it does with the moon, kind of where it is now. I'm like slouching. I need to get like a mic stand so I'm like not slouching so much. I mean, that is a dilemma. Or do you get like the S30 Pro, which is going to come out at some point? I mean, it's been announced, it's been shown. They're supposed to start taking pre-orders. And the nice thing about, well, it'll be interesting to see what an S50 Pro or S70 would be. But the S30 Pro is like, I don't want to say it's fundamentally different, but it is. It's a much wider. It's a wider field than the S30, which is already much wider than the S50, or it's already wider than the S50. So it's much wider than an S50, and it's got higher resolution, and it's got a nice all sky camera. So get a gaming headset or that. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I'm leaning towards getting the S30 Pro, just because I like the form factor of the S30, and I think the upgraded sensor and optics in the S30 Pro will be cool. That said, I guess it would depend on what an S50 Pro or S70 would be like. I mean, an S50 Pro would also be pretty cool if it's using if it's the same focal, if it's like an S50 but with the 585 sensor, that would be pretty cool. S70, I don't even know what kind of sensor would that have. That could be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Have there been any rumors on when they would actually even preview something like an S50 Pro or S70? Because I know they previewed and said they were going to start taking pre-orders this summer for the S30 Pro, but there've been rumors about other scopes, but I haven't heard. Is there anything concrete or less? Or more concrete than what we had? Okay, hearsay. Yeah. This is turning out nicely. What else? I said I was going to do the Trifid. Where is... Yeah. Yeah, that would be a good one. And it's no closer to the moon, so I'll queue that up for when the time comes. And all right, cool. That butterfly nebula over here is looking nice. Posted it on okay. I have a couple places where messages come through from chat, and so sometimes I'll see it in one before I see it on another one. Yeah, thanks for fueling. Yeah, Star Travelers, all that data. Yeah, no problem. I'm glad. I mean, I shouldn't admit this, but it's therapeutic for me too. It's a nice, it's nice to just kind of look at things kind of chill. I started wearing the headphones at some point because I actually hear the background music when I do that. I don't hear my voice because that's distracting unless you have like no latency. Because if you feed back your voice and it's delayed a fraction of a second, at least I find it really hard to talk. But I actually hear the music, so posted on processing. Let me check that out. I have my windows here. Processing. What is going on? Wait, I'm confused. Hold on a sec. Okay. Sorry, it's there we go. I know I'd get there eventually. So yeah, so here's I didn't realize it would pop up like that into another window, but that's the veil mosaic that Star Traveler's been working on. Not with a Seestar, I should clarify that. It's with a larger refractor, but all right, cool. I really like that. Yeah, very relaxing. Yeah, the 533 was like the main one, and that's kind of I had thought about getting a 533 base camera, but the 580, but I guess it's like older generation. If they had something like the generation of the 585, but in the square form factor, that would be nice. Yeah, cool. Oh, neat. That would be cool. Yeah. Yeah, with a 6-inch refractor. Yeah, it does look amazing. Yeah, it's that is really a neat veil there. Bring it back up on the screen. Let me such a large image, it's causing my browser to lag a bit. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. That is a great question. When did the 585 come out? July 2021 it came out. What scope was used to take the veil? It was a 6-inch refractor and 18 panels. Good evening, Dark Shades. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Yeah, the 2600. When did that come out? Or what sensors in that ASI? It's an Explorer Scientific AR152. Okay, so it uses an IMX 571. Oh, that's a relatively recent one. Oh no, never mind. AI didn't know. So here's something from 2018. So it's been out a while. No, this AI overview is wrong. Because I see references to the IMX 571 from this article from October 2018. So that's why you can't trust those AI overviews sometimes. Like, how wrong could that be? I mean, that's pretty wrong. But maybe they've had multiple iterations of it. No, this is 2018. Yeah. Yeah, but I do wonder what other sensors they have that would be suitable to be adapted for astrophotography. Or at least, I mean, like, they have some, like, I know some of their, yeah, I don't know. Would be worth digging into it some more to see if there's sensors out there that Sony has come out with that haven't been adapted into astrophotography cameras. But yeah, as expensive as a ASI 2600 is, that would be a bummer getting one, and then something better comes out like even a few months later. Yeah, the quantum efficiency. Yeah, some of those, and I've even noticed it, like, yeah, you talk about normal mainstream sensors. When I look at the specs of some of my, like one of my older Canon DSLRs versus a newer one I have, as far as like you can find out some of those numbers for those sensors, it's amazing how much better the new ones are. I mean, because like a lot of the mirrorless cameras, I mean, they used to, it was hard using ISOs over a few thousand before they'd start getting super noisy, but now a lot of them you can go way beyond that into the tens of thousands, or like some of the Sonys way beyond that even. It is really remarkable. I mean, the first time I took a photo with one of those cameras, and I pushed the ISO and took a photo of the backyard at night, and it was weird because it looked like daylight, didn't seem grainy, and you could see things that I'm like, wait, I was like looking out the window trying to figure out what I had just taken a photo of, because it was yeah, as big. Yeah, I remember hearing about them, but they weren't, I wasn't yeah, I was spending my money on other things at the time, and I wouldn't have had the budget for that either. But yeah, I knew they were expensive, but that's very expensive. And yeah, now the results you get with pretty modest cameras are, yeah. Nice. Yeah. That's the other thing. Like, it used to be so difficult to do those kind of photos, and now it's, I mean, it still takes some work, but it's so much easier to get to do, or it's even just possible to do it now. It's pretty neat. It's a neat time. How well did the MSM work for you? Yeah, curious. Because I had thought about getting one of those. Oh, nice. First gen. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that Vera Rubin, that is, the results from it are amazing. And it'll be interesting to see, like, I mean, the fire hose of discoveries that are going to come out of that thing. I mean, especially transient things like variable stars, novas. It's supposed to, what is it, multiply by 5 the number of totally of the total number of discovered asteroids up to this point is supposed to increase 5-fold just from that one telescope. That's going to be amazing. That is going to be amazing. Get the ads all the time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then just the connectivity they've had to build to deal with the terabytes of data, like terabytes of daily data. It's just, yeah, fire hose of discoveries. I mean, that's what's going to come out of it, especially like all the asteroids. I mean, the fact that like just in their first run they found like was it 2,000 new asteroids or something crazy like that, like in a few days, just as they're like tuning it. that is just, that's remarkable. But it's good, it's good to map those things out. But I bet I wouldn't be surprised if they end up also discovering a lot more of those interstellar asteroids and comets, like the one that was recently discovered and is supposed to go between the orbit of Mars and Earth. Like that'll be interesting to But yeah, I bet they'll end up discovering a lot of those. Yeah, yeah, it's yeah, wasn't it to Slack? Stanford, the lab, the national lab at Stanford, I think, is where the data goes. Yeah, it was something like that. But yeah, it's an amazing amazing feat of engineering and everything. But it is interesting because, like, it's one of those things that really captures a lot of people's imagination. Like it actually gets into the mainstream, you know, like the first light images from it, just because they're so spectacular and what it's capable of. Kind of like James Webb, where, you know, it's really just kind of to use the expression, game-changing kind of device. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't heard anything. I've been seeing a lot of other people, a lot of other videos, people talking about it and stuff, and kind of like the initial presentation and what came out of that. But I think now I'm sure there's going to be a lot of kind of low-level discoveries, like not all the day-to-day, the thousands of asteroids that are going to start or have already started discovering. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do some kind of update at some point after a few months. But it'll probably be like James Webb, where it'll just start showing up in the news, like incidentally, like, oh, the Vera Rubin scope picked this up, and you know, we'll just start kind of showing up a lot. And plus it's interesting because the things that it'll discover, but also how within seconds it can, or minutes, it can identify things and flag them so that other observatories can look at it. So if there's like some kind of because yeah, they've been doing that more and more recently, where I've been reading articles about it where there'll be a burst, like there'll be an X-ray burst or a gamma ray burst that'll be picked up with some instrument, and then they're able to react in real time with other scopes on the planet. So they'll send out an alert, and then like wherever it's dark, they'll point like a ground-based scope at it and see, oh, there's also an optical component to this gamma ray burst or something. And so I think that will be interesting for finding out, for studying those kind of objects, where some of them, I'm kind of out of the loop on some of it, but from what I remember, some of them they had an explanation, some of them they were kind of unclear on what was causing some of the bursts. But being able to study it and with multiple instruments, multiple wavelengths, will be really cool. And I think that'll end up leading to a lot more discoveries. Yeah, I mean, because like I didn't even realize they were doing some of this. I mean, it makes sense, but that they had like rapid response for some of these things. But I think the Vera Rubin will help feed more of that. Yeah, I was actually thinking about that. because you have the surveys that you can turn on in Stellarium, and now like some of the tools now have like the Gaia data sets. So like I downloaded like 10 gig or tens of gigs of data in a recent Stellarium of Gaia data out to like 18th magnitude or 19th magnitude. And then you have like different photographic surveys, but I was thinking about that. It would be really awesome if they get like the Vera Rubin photographic survey as an option in Stellarium. That would be spectacular. I mean, of course, it would be like they'd have to. Well, I don't know. Could be interesting. Yeah, it would really be. I mean, like that'll be amazing. I mean, even now, like I say, just having the Gaia data set is pretty neat. Yeah, good question to pass on. Yeah. I'm sure some of them have been thinking about that already. Of course, I mean, even with some of the other surveys you get out there, like some of it is at that, some of it comes like the Aladdin data and Simbad. The main servers are in France, and I do wonder about the capacity. Like they're going to have to really have a lot of storage there. I know it's a pretty comprehensive. It seems like a pretty comprehensive facility, but still, the volume of data that's being generated by some of these new scopes. Nice. Well, good night, Spooky Sandwich. Thanks for dropping by, and have a good sleep. And yeah, I'll respond to that. Although it might be in the morning my time, depending on how late I go tonight. but yeah, thanks for joining, and have a good sleep. Yeah, so I set this up to be 45 minutes of total time on target, so I'm just going to let it run, and then it'll go on to Trifid Nebula. I'm hoping it'll be clear here at some point, so I can actually put scopes out locally. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, it's not sure what's going on, but, and I forgot I had the other view up here. What am I doing here? Sorry, I'm confusing myself. I mean, it almost looks like gradient. Yeah, you see O3. Yeah, I could see. Oh. Okay. Sorry, I lost the or misplaced the ALP experimental in the shuffle, and forgot I had it up, and then I'm like, oh wait. All right. Yeah, yeah. The Seestar. I mean, the S50 I like, but the S30, which is what Cosmic Ray has going there, is I mean, for some nebulas is really nice. Just that extra field of view. Yeah. So the S50 is 250 millimeter, and the S30 is 150 millimeter. But they have a fairly small sensor. Is it like a 1/3 inch or 1/2.8 inch, something like that, I think. But yeah, it's the S30. I mean, the S50 is over a degree on the long side. I mean, it's big enough where you can have the entire moon on the field of view. No, the 585 is it a 1/1.2, I think. It's got the same. It's twice as big, I believe, in width and height. So I want to say it's like the same pixel pitch, but has 4 times as many pixels, I think. If I'm remembering correctly. Okay. Okay. I was experimenting, checking. Oh, it did. Let's see, will this work? Will it load? Oh, it did load. So this is Alp running on my the experimental version of Alp running on my Raspberry Pi, pointing at the Raspberry Pi at Starfront. So theoretically it works. So I'll close this other one, which was running on my laptop. Yeah. I mean, I would be hard pressed to do this from home. So even with the moon, it's producing quick results. And that reminds me, when is... Oh, it's about to switch targets. I was just wondering when it was going to switch. And oh, and the recording little indicator has stopped, so... Let's see. Oh, there we go. So I'll image this for a bit. And maybe this will be the last target for the night. I mean, I'm gonna let this go for a while. I'm not imminently ending the stream, but I think I did set it to go for an hour. Oh, hello Benji, good evening. Thanks for joining. Yeah, it did switch, but it's... I went ahead and reloaded it because it was... Oh, okay. Yeah, why isn't... I'm not sure why the status hasn't updated on this one yet. But this one it has, so... Oops. Believe it or not, I do not actually have the light pollution filter on this target. I forgot to check the box, so I'm going to turn it on. Oh, see, you can see it updated here. Did you see that? It was, I'm going to turn it off again. And see, it updates pretty quickly. I'm in the old Alp, I'm changing it in the settings. and it's switching pretty quickly. Cool. So that shows it's real time. Yeah. So I think, I mean, I'd only gotten 17 frames into it, so hopefully now that I turned it back on, it'll be better. Yeah, I don't know. That is interesting. And the Tribbles are a nebula as well. The Tribbles Nebula, but which I think is kind of hilarious. Yeah, the Tribbles, the trouble with Tribbles is at least I think the first episode that they were in. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what yes, I'm using WebSockets. At one point I was using server-side events, which I'm trying to remember if I was using that in the old alp. I may have been starting to use server-side events for a couple things, but I switched to WebSockets for this one because I wanted to be able to send the control signals, movement commands go down the WebSocket as well. So theoretically, everything goes down across that one WebSocket as far as telemetry and control, command and control. I did try briefly to do WebRTC, but I gave up on that because I was like, well, I could do everything over WebRTC, including the video, but I gave up on that quite quickly. Yeah, but it is using WebSockets, and you can see this temperature updating. I think I'm sending updates like right now. I think it's just on a timer, like twice a second. And I'll tune it and probably send it, or maybe I only send it when I get an update. I don't remember. Yeah. Yeah, WebRTC was interesting. I may revisit that or one of the newer specs because I want to change. I mean, I don't need to do it for the stacked video because it's only sending one frame every 10 seconds. And actually, I actually pull the images. I don't push them. At one point I pushed them, but I changed to a pull. So when it gets a stack event. So I don't know if I implemented the logic, but the idea was if the connection was slow and it was still grabbing an image when the second another stack came in, it would just wait until the following stack before it requested one, if it was far enough behind. At least that was the theory. But for doing live video, for like solar mode and lunar mode, the way I was doing it, where I was doing motion JPEG, which kind of worked. A lot of security webcams would do that, even today, and definitely back in the day. But I've wanted to implement something more efficient for those modes, to make the video smoother, but which is part of the reason why I went down WebRTC to try to upgrade that part. But realistically, stacking mode is probably the one where it's more helpful to, probably more used in ALP than the other modes, but maybe not. But I do want to revisit it at some point. But for now, I'm just going to leave the video as is. But I'm planning on moving everything else over to the WebSockets. So all the commands that go from the browser back to the Seestar, and everything that comes back, any events I want to propagate to the front end, like the target name, whether it's stacking or not, battery, temperature, disk, different statistics. Yeah. But yeah, so that's the and one of the other big motivators of why I switched to WebSockets was I was trying to make move when you control the telescope in ALP. I was trying to make it more responsive, where if you start moving it in ALP, it immediately starts moving, and when you stop, it almost immediately stops, or at least similar to the responsiveness of the app. And in some just very rough testing I've done locally, it seemed to be pretty responsive. So that made me happy that it seemed to be working as I had hoped it would work, I guess is what I'm getting at. And then there's this other NGC open cluster, or not NGC, another Messier open cluster over here. But since I focused on the Trifid, it's kind of at the edge of the frame. Sometimes I'll kind of pick a spot in between the two of them to frame both of them. But yeah, this isn't, like I say, this is good, because I know that I can image these targets in the Milky Way even when the moon is as far away or as close as it is now, without sacrificing too much quality. Yeah, it's and yeah, that's another thing, like notifications, like toaster notifications and stuff. I think I had implemented some prototype of it internally, but it, yeah, all that kind of stuff. And I don't know why. I think the reason why I'm not sure the reason why I didn't implement it before. Maybe it was because of the way I was doing the stack for the initial stack for the web interface for Alp is Python backend, HTML front end, almost no JavaScript. It uses like HTMX JavaScript library to try to not require a lot of JavaScript in the front end. And I think maybe that's why. I mean, you can do, I was able to do server-side events in HTMX, but it's kind of a little, it's not the smoothest experience from a development point of view. And so I guess that's why I didn't really keep, I did some work with it, but I just never was super thrilled with doing it that way. And when I decided that, well, I'd been wanting to redo live view, just starting with live view, mostly because that code was only worked on by me, and that way I figured the impact would be minimal, so I could kind of start with a clean slate. And so I guess that's how I approached it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to just rebuild this kind of with the best stack for this kind of real-time update. And so that's how I ended up. It's very JavaScript heavy. It's all written in React, Next.js, but I've written a lot of code in that platform, so it didn't take too long. And I was like, there's a lot of libraries out there now and frameworks for making things not look so bad visually. Hey. Hey, Cosmic Ray's got it going too. Awesome. Yeah, just collapse that side panel. Like there's a little right chevron there to the right of the word telescope. Like over here. If you just push that, that'll collapse it. And then that cleans up things, like just that one. Yeah, that's sticky. Yeah, awesome. But yeah, if you click that, then it'll because like I don't need that in the way. Just kind of, and the other thing it has, it ended up scrolling it. Oh, it's actually this one down here underneath, because of the formatting. It's not doing well with the window size here, but yeah, some of that needs to be fixed. But there's a chevron. It's kind of underneath, right here. It's not this one. There's like one hidden here. You see right there, like right there. Chevron. Yeah, the little arrow here. Sorry. It's kind of like half an arrow. Yeah, some of this stuff, I don't know. I haven't looked at it in a while. At one point I had real data in there, but then I might have broken it. But yeah, and then so if you click that, yeah, right there, I think that will collapse it. Yeah. If it can actually be clicked. somehow. Is your browser magnification on? Or is it in zoom mode or something? No. That's clearly I need to work on the responsive design of that. I mean, the good thing is once you do that, once you collapse that, it remembers it. So even when you reload the page, it'll be hidden. Maybe decrease the magnification, like zoom it to a number less than 100. Yeah, see, I think the problem is like the screen width. It's trying to wrap some stuff here. Yeah, that that was some boilerplate when I used the framework. Yeah, maybe do the zoom, but like go yeah, like that. Okay, yeah, that's enough. And then you can just minimize this. Click this arrow here. Oops. Well, no, you what I was getting at is you want to make get it where you can get to this little icon here, and if you can click it, then it just kind of gets rid of the whole thing, and then it uses more space. Yeah, it is pre-alpha. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. But yeah, if you make it just temporarily, yeah, right there. And then go back to the. It's just temporary, so just go back to the thing, and you want to click this button. Yeah, that one. Okay, now you can reset the size. You can reset the magnification because it'll remember it. Like once you collapse it, like I hit reload, it remembers it. So, but yeah, so once you get that, it also has like the maximize button, so you can make it use more of the screen. And then yeah, you can zoom in. You should be able to pan around. You can rotate it, which like that way you can use more of the space. So it's got the magnification there. So it's got the zoom in, zoom out. And it doesn't really do much with the panning until you've zoomed in. But once you've zoomed in, you can pan around then. But yeah, if you zoom in with the controls there, yeah, there you can rotate it. And so like there's targets where I've imaged it, and you know, like right now the way I have the screen divided, I'm keeping it vertical, but a lot of times when I've got the browser full width, I'll rotate the object so then I can see more of it without cropping. But yeah, then you can zoom in. Yeah. Yeah. And you can even rotate it while it's zoomed in. Now in the case of mine, what was the all sky URL? Yeah, okay. So once you have this going, you can click the gear here. And I can click general and I can go 92, 168, 42, 33, 888. Indie latest image. Ta-da. And so now I can have my all sky image here too. And that 30 frames per second is wrong. It's only updating every few seconds. Yeah. Thanks. And I'm glad you got it working. I did make some changes to the networking to try to make it more robust. And I guess it worked. But yeah, thanks. So now you're the second person to have had this on stream, besides me. Yeah, the one thing that I am looking forward, or I'm happy with about this, is the status bar. That's like a huge one for me, especially when I'm live streaming. I'm not paying attention, and I've run out of battery, I've run out of space too many times. And with this, that was part of the reason why I put like so many things in the header, was just to minimize that. No driver's manual yet, but that's a good point. And actually, I have something really cool I just thought of that I could do. Yeah. It is up on GitHub. It is on GitHub, and I will share the link. Again, the caveat being it is totally pre-alpha. It doesn't do, it won't go to target at all. I'm doing all of that either through the app or ALP. Tonight it's just been through ALP, but I wouldn't, it currently does not control the scope, but it'll view, it's a good live view right now. You can actually steer the telescope, so I guess if you're doing like I'll get it. I was doing some testing where I turned on like an imaging mode in the app, and then I was steering it around in this, but it wasn't. I had set it aside for a few days, so I'm probably gonna get back on it. Quiv the Lazy Geek. Hello. Holy moly. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. I love your videos. I watch them all the time. Yeah, that this is it's so there's Seestar Alp, and this is kind of the next generation of the web interface for it that I've been working on. But yeah, I'm and yeah, it's running on Raspberry Pi and Docker. And yeah, the link I posted is the one. It's in active development in bursts. I'll take a break for a few days. Yeah, doesn't. Yeah, you can get double your money back right now. But yeah, it's yeah, I have a lot more planned for it, but I want to get just to the baseline of functionality, being able to I guess some of the next functionality is being able to go to a target, being able to yeah, go to a target. That's the main one. Kick off an imaging, be able to stop and start. Yeah, that's probably the bulk of it. What else? Yeah, because the thing is, like, some of the other functionality, like I wanted to try to integrate this in with Alp. So, because I don't necessarily, I wasn't planning on re-implementing like the settings page or the configuration page. Well, not the the settings page, some of the scheduling stuff. It might be redesigned, as it were, maybe. But I wasn't planning on like rewriting the whole stack. Yeah. This is brand new. I call it Alp Experimental. Yeah, that's funny that it got recommended to you, but it has. There's been a few times where I was like searching for something Seestar related, and it recommended back one of my own videos. I'm like, okay. But yeah, it's yeah, no, great. Thanks for dropping by, and definitely give it a like and a thumbs up. You know the drill. But yeah, it's so Alp. Like, I guess my motivation was I was involved a lot with the web interface for Alp. I mean, I kind of started it, but in the live view, I did the live view, but the live view itself always kind of, I can say it because I wrote it. I was frustrated with the experience, and so I wanted so much more for it. And so a few months back, I started, after talking to one of the other developers, I thought I'd just start with a clean slate. And this is where I landed. Of course, I was the one thing that helped accelerate the development a lot. I mean, I've written hundreds of thousands of lines of React code, but I did lean heavily on Claude code to accelerate the development a lot. And that definitely helped me. And actually also Vercel has a tool that helped me with a lot of the visuals, kind of sketching out the UI, and then, you know, sketching out the framework, all the boilerplate and alignment of different React components. Stuff that always ends up being very tedious, and I'm not a designer, so I'm happy to use tools that help me with that. But yeah, we'll make it through the day, double your money. Ouch. Hello, signal fading. Yeah, so there is a package for Alp that doesn't require the command line. I don't think it does. I haven't actually used that one. One of the things I've been experimenting around with my experimental branch is other ways of providing binaries, kind of like a lot of open source tools now will have like 5 different ways you can run it. That's what I'm also hoping to do with this. So if you're on Windows or Mac and you don't want to mess around with the command line, you know, I want to be able to provide a version that works. I did an initial pass at it, but it was like I ended up with like a 200 megabyte executable, so I need to work on that a little bit. Oh, nice. make Belgian waffle button. I should add that. I should definitely add that. Yeah, some of that stuff. Yeah, some of that stuff is it worked at one point, and I had it using my location, and I need to see where that code is because I wasn't focusing on it, and I might have, when I pulled some stuff out of it, I might have broken it. But what it's supposed to be doing is trying to figure out where you are, like using the browser pop-up, like where it says, do you allow this to figure out where you are? And once it does that, it actually was querying Open Weather API and doing some other things, but I probably broke it at some point. But I was mostly focusing on just getting this part working, which is a big part of it, because like the movements and stuff are relatively easy because you're just firing off individual commands on the back end, but getting the streaming video working and the WebSocket communication and getting it to retry and stuff is tricky. I mean, not tricky, but it's more involved. And even then, I need to go over that code again because, I mean, that was one of the issues I had with some of the initial code I wrote. Is I had made some changes to improve the retry. There were some definite issues with the way the old Alp talked to the Seestar, and to be fair, it was originally written as just an API, not for like something you would control kind of using a API tool. And I so when I started the web interface, and as many others started adding to it, we were pushing that API harder than it originally had ever been pushed. And so I think that started causing issues with the way it was written, like threading issues and stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to go into all that, but anyway, long story short, I took a first pass at it with like the imaging stuff when I was working on that, trying to make it more robust, and it did help a lot. But then there were some other parts that were just getting more. I think that was the other thing that kind of motivated me to just start with a clean slate. Because there were really two parts to it. There's the front end visuals you see, and then there was like kind of a clean re-implementation of the API that talks to the Seestar, or not the API, but the code, the library that talks to the Seestar under the hood. And I just tried to make it a lot more robust and trying to fix a lot of the bugs that a lot of people were tripping up on, but may not have realized it. But if you look through the logs, it would become apparent what was going on, or sometimes it wasn't apparent, but when you dig into it. Anyway, long story short, trying to make it more better. And so that was my initial area of focus on that before I really started cranking on the front end, was trying to get that library in better shape. And I had a couple other repositories where I was working on all this, and then kind of a few weeks back started pulling it all together in one place, and made the mistake of showing it on Discord, and then people are like, yeah, I need to try that out. And see, that was another thing that, like, there was a lot of wasted space with the old one. A lot of dead space, and you could, like, we would use these zoom plugins in Chrome to try to enlarge the image to make it better. I mean, make it try to use more of the space, but I wanted to be able to do it in the app, you know, like I wanted to be able to, which is why I added, I mean, just like little things like this enlarge thing. I mean, it doesn't give you that much more space, but it basically uses the full width, almost the full height, except for like this very little bit at the top. And this red thing at the bottom is because I'm running a development version here. But yeah, so it's basically using, and if you do like a full screen browser, you get rid of all of this part of the browser and you're just left with this thin line at the top with all the stats, which I could even do it as an overlay, but I have it kind of out of the screen right now. I mean, above the image right now, because I feel like this is pretty good as far as using most of the using the browser real estate, maximizing the use of the browser real estate. Yeah, I mean, on the other hand, you know, like so much stuff this day is aimed around like phones, you know, like, you know, like they have like the social feature in the app. And so I guess it wasn't, but yeah, I mean, like you're imaging these things, so you might want to watch it on something besides your phone. So, and even then, like if you run it on a phone, you can rotate it. Yeah, I mean, it does, the app does rotate, but anyway, yeah, thanks. You have 2 spaces. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I again, I'm trying to again, maybe scope creep, but I was trying to make the new Alp, or this experimental version, more robust, better, a smoother experience on the front end, at least for live view. And I also want to work on the deployment too, while I'm at it, since it's easier, since there aren't as many people using this, where I can just kind of make major changes without breaking a bunch of people. And so I'm trying to iterate on this, get it a bit more stable, and then try to figure out how I'm gonna move this into the existing code base. I mean, it's out, it's in a different repo, it's got the same license, so theoretically I should be able to bring it in, but just have to figure out how. Broke your help. Oh no. Did it break my... Yeah, no, my other Alp is still working, I think. 209. Yeah, my other Alp's still working. Yeah, phones and tablets. Hello, Gary. Good evening. Thanks for joining. Yeah, that's weird. You're not using the app, are you, Cosmic Ray? At the same time. So what are we up on? Cosmic Ray was in the below. It was is imaging the Butterfly Nebula, I think, and I'm imaging over here the Trifid. And even in spite of the moon, it's actually not turning out not too bad. Yeah, you know, what might be the issue? Remember how we hated guest mode on the Seestars? Well, if you're not running in guest mode, you're still limited to 2 connections. Yes, thanks for reminding me. Nice. Okay, let's switch over here. On the veil and looking outstanding. Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Let me bring up Star Traveler. Ah, on the phone, yeah. Hate that when it does that. So that's Star Traveler. Just broke the live view image. I wonder if it's the issue where if you can only connect twice. So if you've got the app and you've got the new, like something's going to break. And I wonder if that's what happened, or if that's what's happening, because if you're like I say, you're using the app and Alp Experimental, so because I was running into that myself where I try to run it from too many locations. Like I had Alp Experimental and the app, and it wasn't letting me connect one of them. It was saying you've already done 2 connections. Which is kind of a massive pain, but yeah, that's cool. Actually, what I need to do is, since I've got this live view here, I can just, we can have Triffid, and Butterfly. Minutes. I am at what am I at? I have them at 40 minutes, but you know, I have a much smaller aperture, 2-inch versus instead of yeah, nice. You've got all the Seestar controls. You got them all. Yeah, as I'm looking at this and Star Traveler's talking about how much time, I was like, yeah, I should probably add the time as well. 600 Nice. 3.9. Nice. Very nice. Let me shrink myself a little bit here. Actually, another thing I can do here is pull that a little bit over just to get it. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm using the light pollution filter, which is a dual narrowband. So I'm doing that as well. Yeah, I mean, well, hopefully not over the coming months. Like that's a pretty fundamental thing that when you asked how much time, I was like, yeah, I need to add that. Yeah, no, it's helpful. It is helpful. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Ultimately, I'll start with my own use case or what I want to do with it, and also, things that I think other people will want to do with it, or questions people have asked me in the past. But then, yeah, if people say, oh, hey, why don't you add this? In some cases, I had thought about it. Sometimes I hadn't, but, it's one of those things where if I had thought about it, I'm like, I'll implement it if somebody asks me about it, or eventually. Still waiting for the clear skies button. Yeah, low battery. Yeah, see, I mean, that is really nice. You can, because like that wasn't something you could do with the old Alp. Like, it wouldn't tell you the battery level, which is why I'd run out of battery during a live stream. So it's nice being able to actually see that. Yeah, I was watching. Yeah, that would be cool. Let's see what you're imaging. We're all about show and tell here. It's getting late. At least for me. Yeah, 15%. Getting perilously low there. Yeah. Screenshots of the clouds. Nice. That's funny. I don't know if they're interesting clouds. It could be fun. Screenshots of clouds. Oh. Yeah, those are cool. I don't have the, I just have a still image of the all sky camera. But yeah, I do like watching the clouds kind of going through. Yeah, they're cosmic clouds. There you go. Yeah, so it does look like allegedly it will be clear here tomorrow night. Starfront doesn't look like it'll be clear, but if it's clear here, I'll do a live stream. That's kind of a bummer. And it might be basically, since there had been it had been so long since I had last done a live stream, and even before then there'd been a gap. I'm just gonna try to do as many as I can stand, because I feel like if I miss one and then I end up having like 2 weeks of rain, I'll regret not streaming. But it does look like here there'll be some allegedly clear skies some evenings over the next few days. Not every weekday, but whereas Starfront looks like tomorrow evening will be cloudy, Sunday will be cloudy, Monday will be cloudy, Tuesday will be cloudy, Wednesday is a maybe, and then towards the end of the week. But further out forecasts aren't as accurate, so we'll see. That's kind of a bummer. Hopefully that's wrong and it'll end up being clear. But yeah. Yeah, exactly. Gotta get that sky time when you can. Oh yeah. Thanks, Signal Fading. Thanks for joining, and have a good rest of your evening. And yeah, clear skies. Let's see, how much time do I have left on this? Oh, only 5 minutes left on the Trifid, so maybe I should kick off another target, or queue up another target, and then I'll probably wrap the stream. I just need to figure out what to image. All right. Speaking of battery, my laptop needs to be plugged in. I need to do that. Oh, you know what? One that is actually high enough now that I haven't gotten a ton of time on. I might do the Cocoon Nebula. Just... oh wow, and Andromeda's up now. Or has been up for a bit. But I think I'll do the cocoon, because that's a nice self-contained one, and I feel like I haven't done nearly enough time on that one. Okay, so do that, and I'm gonna let that one run for the rest of the evening. And I'll use the light pollution filter. And all right, I added it to the schedule. Oh, nice. Yeah, the bubble is also on my list, but maybe I'll do that tomorrow night, or whenever I get a chance. Yeah. For me, it's more towards the north, so I'm kind of constrained by the north wall at Starfront, but it's high enough now, so it should be switching here in a little bit. Oh yeah, allegedly, actually, it claims it's already starting to switch. Okay, it's about to start stacking. That's one thing I need to do a better job having it update this same with the bubble. Yeah, for me it's more of a wall issue. But yeah, sorry, I was just looking over at I need to redo things, because I look over here, but really I'm looking at the things that are to my left. You know what I could do? I could like mirror reverse myself, but then that could end up being distracting. Hello, Seestar. Welcome. Thanks for joining. So yeah, we have Cosmic Rays doing IC 5146 with the Seestar, and Star Traveler is doing Trifid with a 6-inch refractor, and I am doing the Cocoon Nebula, which I just started with with the Seestar. How are you? I'm doing fine. How are you? Yeah, hopping tonight. Yeah, got multi targets going on here, and but yeah. So I'm gonna let this go for a little bit, but I'm gonna have it on this target for the rest of the evening, until almost sunrise. I set it for like 4 hours, 4.5 hours to get at least into probably towards astronomical dawn, but oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think I shouldn't say any. I think a lot of those things do go into kind of their signals. They're all signals for YouTube, and they do have. If you go look in the kind of in the YouTube console, they do actually highlight kind of as one of the many things that you can look at, those kind of reactions. And I know I definitely do that on other people's videos too, because I figure it all helps. Yeah, but yeah, that's a good point. I'm getting tired in case you can't tell. Wow, my neck. I need to I think I've said this in the past. I need to have like a lazy boy or something here, some recliner. With keyboard on a shelf in front of me, just kind of kick back. It's interesting. This the cocoon is showing up very slowly, but I might go ahead and just let it. I'll just let it go, since I was planning on doing it for a few hours. A child swings size for an adult. That is a very interesting thought. I think the recliner might be more my style. Yeah. I mean, some of my old videos, my old live streams, like you wouldn't see a chair behind me, because like now you can see a chair, but I was actually at a higher table, kind of a bar height table, and I was sitting on a stool. So sometimes I'd rotate in it like a chair, but you would never see the back. It had a little bit of a back, but it was pretty low, so it was kind of hard to sit in for too long, which is why I went back to a desk and a normal chair, because especially when I was doing like 6-hour live streams sitting on a stool, that's why I would have to get up. And some of those videos, it looks like, I imagine it looked this way. It felt that way, that I was having a hard time walking when I would get up to stretch my legs. But yeah, recliner. That would be pretty funny. Yes. Yeah. Well, because mine isn't even, I'm using Alp to go to the coordinates, but I'm actually using the feature in Alp where it pulls the information from Stellarium, and for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the field we're using from Stellarium, or if that's what it gives by default, the name, like the common name of it, but it ends up using that name, and I just leave it. Of course, when I'm doing processing after the fact, if I'm trying to combine data from different nights or taken differently, it's sometimes I've kind of sabotaged myself a few times where I have to look it up, and I'm like, oh, it's I have it that night I shot it, and it's like IC whatever, and this other night it was the Cocoon Nebula, and it's just like so I end up having to like write a script to pull from different names. Clouds, yeah. See, okay, so this is another feature you can take advantage of in the experimental version. You can go into, if you bring up an ALP experimental, the picture-in-picture, and then you click on the gear, it brings up, it'll be on crosshairs by default. You go to general and you type the URL of your all-sky camera, and you don't have to hit save. It, as soon as you type a complete URL, it will see, like, if it's incomplete, it like immediately fetches it. You can enter basically this URL that you have, the 10.0.2.7/allsky, I think, and it'll actually remember that setting. Like, it stores it in the browser, and so next time you go to that telescope, it'll remember that. And that way you can always have it, the reason I did it is so I could have it kind of tucked off to the side, and then I could see, that I'm having issues with clouds. But yeah, you have to get it out of all full screen mode to get the picture-in-picture button. So if you get it out of the if you bring it out of the full screen mode, then you can bring up picture-in-picture, and then you can edit it. Yeah, that button. Yeah, you go there and then just click. Yeah, the sizing isn't great. The gear is kind of outside the window. It's next to the M and the I. There's like a gear there now. Yeah, there you go. And then click General tab, and once you click the General tab, you can yeah, that's kind of broken right now, the sizing. So you bring up that that just lets you change the size. It's the gear, yeah. And then you can drag the all sky out of the way, like that little window can be moved, so you can again, it's pre-alpha, but yeah, go to general and then just type in whatever URL for the all sky camera. Let me double check something here. All sky camera. Wait, you're running just let me see something here. Actually, look at what the URL is. It should be this. So whatever the IP is, but then go current temp image.jpg. For whatever reason, that's the URL you have to use. So in your case, it would be the 10 dot whatever, but then the current temp image is with yeah, so yeah, I really need to fix that. But yeah, basically change it to AllSky's the name of my AllSky camera computer, so you just change it to /current/temp. Yeah. Yeah, so current/TMP. You gotta have this after the current. Image.jpg. I think you missed the slashes. It's actually TMP for whatever reason. This is the specific setting for the plain AllSky software. The URL that I have that I was using is the one for the India AllSky, which is like a different thing. And really, I should probably have like an easier way of doing that, where you can say, okay, this is, or it'll figure it out. And actually, I think it's JPG. So no E in the JPEG. So yeah, back up and do JPG, not PEG. Boom. There we go. And it should update. I think it updates like every 30 seconds or so. But yeah, I added that feature because it's and then this right arrow to collapse the telescope panel. I should make that collapsed by default. Like this button here. Yeah, that one. Yep. And then you can always maximize. So like I have mine, and and that's another thing. So if you have this like here, and you have your AllSky camera up, you can actually maximize the AllSky camera. Just in case you want to do that. Of course, mine looks weird because it's using full height, and so the width is. But yeah, I may have gotten a bit overly ambitious with it, but I'm pretty happy with the result. But it was still just like, what do you call it, kitchen sink kind of development, where I'm like, oh, I'm just going to throw this in and this in, and yeah. Trifid is being deeply and narrowly cleft into 3 teeth processes or points. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, now we know. Yeah, and it's you plugged it in Yeah. Thanks. And now that you have it plugged in, you see it shows a little charging icon. So it even does that, where if it's charging or discharging, and it was actually partly I think it was Wiley's site. I had it showing just the percentage, and he was like, well, there is a charge status. And so eventually I ended up hooking it up, and so now like mine, it's fully charged, so it's the fully charged icon. If it's discharging, it's just a battery. I guess it goes red if it's low, and charging if it's charging. So it's yeah, thanks. Yeah, it calls me. I mean, you know, I've been called. I won't even get into it. August target, yeah. Little Rascal. Oh right. It's been a while since I knew it was like, it rung a bell, but Little Rascals, I used to watch that. Alfalfa. Actually, there've been times where when I took my headphones off, I had like the alfalfa thing going on. Trees, not the trees. But yeah, again, some of it was driven by my own. Do I have a dog with a black eye patch? No, I do have a black dog that's kind of graying. But yeah, she's no eye patch on her. But yeah, I added the all sky camera, and just to give you a preview of something that isn't hooked up yet, the all sky drop down here. Oh well, the drop downs aren't working. It had I don't know when I'll get around to implementing it, but it did have a drop down for like finder camera or like secondary camera. So my plan was for the S30 is that it would, when you were in the right mode, it would show you the secondary camera, kind of like the app does. But I haven't gotten there yet. And actually, I haven't worked really much on the live view stuff, but that is something I might be working on sooner rather than later. I'm messing with a cord here because my laptop, speaking of battery, my laptop I have in front of me that I'm reading messages on is was not plugged in, and it was running low on battery. And it had just given me an alert saying you better plug it in. Where's the red phone? I mean, I do have the red phone down here, the red rotary phone. I have like a what do you call it, like a little bookcase that I need to assemble, and I might put the red phone on it behind me, just because, to get it off the floor. It's an old Western Electric. I forget the model number, but I think I looked up the serial number. I think that one was made in the the one I have was made in the 60s, I think. But yeah, it's a genuine rotary Western Electric. So I can use that to call the commissioner. I think I've mentioned this before, but mean, I got kind of obsessed with getting a rotary phone because for a few years, this was a number of years back, I was wanting to get one. And every time I looked for like new ones, they were all like simulated rotary where they had like the little finger stop thing, but it was buttons where the holes would be. And I'm like, no, I want a rotary. So I ended up buying one off of eBay. But what led me on that was it was on one of the maker sites, SparkFun or companies. They had reverse engineered the signaling, and using a GSM module and a battery, they'd fit a GSM module and battery inside of one of the Western Electric phones, and so it would work as a cell phone, and it would drive the ringer and stuff. And I kicked myself because they had kits and they also had pre-made ones for a while, and I was wanting to buy one, and I kept putting it off, and then they stopped making them. But I had this idea that I wanted to get one of those, and I'd go to like Starbucks and sit there and have like the rotary phone sitting in front of me, and then it rings and I pick it up and start talking to someone on it. And there's no cords. It's like but it would really confuse people, I think, having like a desk phone but no cords on it, and it still has the old ring, like the real alarm metal bell in it. But yeah, but I did the next best thing, and I got a physical, or I got one of the phones, and I know it works because when I got it, we still had a landline for our alarm system, I think, and I plugged it in and called it, and it rang, and the kids were baffled by it, I think. Because you hear the telephone ring tones that sound like an old telephone, but to actually hear an old telephone ring, it's definitely a different experience than the recorded one. Anyway, but yes, I do have the red phone here, to call Python Man maybe. But yeah, so the nice thing is, so long as you're using the same browser and you're not doing it like in an incognito window, it'll remember, it should remember the settings in the browser, what do you call it, it's in local storage, and so it stores whether or not you had the all sky camera up, what the URL is, if you have the thing collapsed. So like if I reload this, like you'll briefly see the thing show up, but then it all like goes back to the way it was, like the all sky camera's here, the sidebar's collapsed, image is taking a while to reload. Hopefully I didn't mess it up, but there we go. But yeah, so once you get it, but there are some things I definitely need to smooth out with it. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Need to clean up some of the UI. And there's some other things I should probably turn off by default. But yeah, it is cool. So like you can see, since Cosmic Ray has an S30, the gain is 200, which is the default on the S30. Mine is an S50 and it shows 80, which is the default on the S50. We both have the light pollution filters on. Yeah. But yeah. Anywho. Yeah, I'm starting to zone. I think I might have to wrap it up for the night. Like I say, hopefully it'll be clear here to Saturday night, so I can do another live stream. I did say yesterday or the day before that if I end up clouded out again, I'm gonna do, maybe I'll do a live stream just kind of going over all the things I've been working on and getting feedback from people on, kind of giving a walkthrough, and also, maybe asking people what they think, and get suggestions and whatever else. Oh yeah, Buckwheat, Porky, Butch, Waldo, Spanky. Yeah, Spanky was always that name. Those names. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to wrap it up. Like I say, my eyes are getting dry, I'm zoning, and I have to be up in the morning. Should have been Spanky instead of Stinky. Yeah, Spanky. Yeah, so I'm Spanky. Although Stinky's funny, but yeah. So I'm gonna wrap it up so I don't ramble anymore. Thanks everybody for joining. Thanks for all the feedback, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Keep an eye out for another video or another live stream. And yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. Hope everybody has a good. Yeah, the cocoon is cool. I'm gonna let this one go for like 4.5 hours. So hopefully it will. It should be pretty good. Great song, Stinky. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining, and I think I will see you in the next one. Yeah, thanks as always, and I'll see you next time. Clear skies.